Alright, the new patch notes have just been released and we can now take a look at the Leroy changes that will be coming out. So in this video we're going to briefly cover and talk about the Leroy changes, and then at the very end of the video we're going to be asking the question, is it enough? So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to ignore the other characters for right now, and we're just going to focus on the Leroy changes. And even the first two Leroy changes, I'm just going to ignore them because they're just bug fixes. Alright, so these two right here, I'm not really going to talk about them. So let's get into the actual changes. Change number 1. During his hermit stance, forward 4, the damage was reduced from 25 to 21. Alright, so that's this move right here. Now, I agree with the change because this is a hit to his wall combo damage. A lot of Leroy players use this in their wall combos. So yeah, any damage nerfs to Leroy's combos are definitely appreciated. Alright, so the next change is Leroy's down forward 1. Change the damage from 14 to 12. Okay, so this is Leroy's down forward 1. I'm not sure what the significance is of the damage reduction. I don't know if he uses this in combos too or not. But in terms of just looking at it as a down forward 1, in my opinion, the frames should be nerfed because the down forward 1 is too good. It has too many good follow-up options. So to me, I think down forward 1 by itself needs a frame nerf to make up for the fact that the follow-ups, you know, are really good. That's generally how it works in Tekken 7. Okay, so I'm going to skip this change as well. I was looking at this and I don't know what this means. So, you know, we'll just have to see when it comes out. So yeah, we're just going to skip that change. There's not much information on it right now. Alright, so Leroy's down 2-4. They changed the damage from 17 to 11. They changed the frame advantage from -11 to -13. And they changed the frame advantage upon hit from 0 to -2. Alright, so let's take a look at this move and let's talk about it real quick. So it's down 2-4. So the last hit got a damage reduction from 17 to 11. Now that's good because, again, this is a tool or a move that's used in Leroy's combos. This will be a hit to his combo damage. Now this is generally used when they're not carrying you to a wall. And what they will do is they will use this move and install the last hit at the end of their combo to like increase the damage of the last hit. It like kind of makes the scaling not as high. Alright, so this is going to reduce combo damage. I appreciate that, like I said earlier. And also they made it -13. Now that would be pretty good in some matchups. Like Kazuya and Josie, for example, they can launch lows that are -13. Now, most characters can't do that. Some characters have decent punishes for 13 frames, and some characters don't have anything extra as a 13 frame while standing punisher. So in some matchups this will be a decent nerf. In some matchups this won't do anything at all. Okay, Leroy's down back 1-3. Change the damage from 20 to 17. Okay, so this is Leroy's down back 1-3. Sorry. So the last hit got its damage reduced from 20 to 17. So again, this is a move that's really prevalent in Leroy combos, and this is just another hit to his combo damage, which again, I agree with. His combo damage was way too high. So another good nerf. Let's continue. Leroy is down back 1+2. They changed the frame advantage from -9 to -10 on block and decreased distance. I don't care about that. So let's talk about this move. Down back 1+2. The fact that this move was safe to begin with was already pretty nuts. It's pretty crazy. This is a counter hit. It's guaranteed on counter hit. And by the way, it has another option, which is a high option, right? Which is guaranteed on normal hit, by the way. But let's just talk about this move by itself right now. So on counter hit, this is guaranteed. It is mid, and generally moves like that are not safe in Tekken, especially when it has such a powerful knockdown right there at the end. And so they're changing it to be -10 now, which means you can jab punish it. Now, I agree with the nerf to make it punishable, but I don't think it's strong enough as a nerf. To me, this move should probably be around -12 instead. It's just really strong. This move here is a high crush, and on counter hit, you know, like I said, it guarantees the big mid follow up with a huge knockdown and pretty good damage. You know, this move is really good, and it should have never been safe to begin with. To me, that's crazy that they even put that in the game. So they made it punishable. That's good. I agree. I think they should make it a little bit more punishable, but for now, you know, we'll take it. We'll take all the nerfs we can get. So Leroy's back 3. They changed the damage from 23 to 21. Okay, so this is Leroy's back 3. They changed the damage. They nerfed the damage by 2. And I believe, of course, this will work for the launcher itself as well. But I believe, again, this could be geared towards nerfing his combo damage, because Leroy's may tend to use this for wall carry. If a wall is nearby after a tailspin, for example. So just another hit to his combo damage for the most part. And again, I agree with all of those combo damage nerfs. So it's Orbital. Leroy's up forward 4. They changed the frame advantage from -3 to -8 on block. Okay, so that's his Orbital. This should have never been -3. It's really fast. Has good range. You know, launcher obviously. The fastest Orbital in the game. And it was -3 on block. Like, that's just too much. And the nerf is justified. And again, they probably should have nerfed the speed of the move too. You know, they should have maybe put it in line with Brian's Orbital. It's probably still, you know, it's still going to be the best Orbital in the game, very likely. And, you know, the nerf is justified, but I don't think it was enough of a nerf in my opinion. But, you know, I'll take it. It's just, you just take what you can get at this point, right? So let's continue. Leroy's up 3 plus 4, 1 plus 2. I'm not going to cover this because it just says change the opponent's behavior when hit midair. We're not going to know what that means until we see it. So I'm just going to skip over that change for right now. Leroy's forward forward 2-2. Change the damage from 20 to 15. So this is Leroy's forward forward 2-2. 14 frame startup. Has enormous range. Right? And it is a full combo on normal hit. So it's in its mid. So this move is really good. It's only -13 on block. So the damage nerf, again, I agree with nerfing it because it's a really good move. Maybe it should be slightly more punishable as well. You know, there's some more things they could do to this move, but I agree with the nerf, and again, I'll take it. Okay, so Leroy's final change here. We're not going to talk about the first or second hit because these are generally just bug fixes for the most part. We'll talk about the last hit, which is the actual change right here. So change the opponent's behavior when blocking the move. I can tell you what that means, like automatically. And change the frame advantage from +8 to -7 on block. So this is the infamous Leroy Kane. So change the behavior on hit on block. So right now it sits them down like it does right there, like you just saw. And it gives you +8. So change the opponent's behavior on block. Obviously, it's probably not going to make them sit down anymore like that. And the frame advantage will be changed from +8 to -7, which is huge and completely justified. Again, most people just see this as an extra rage drive for the character, which is pretty really powerful rage drive. So it being nerfed frame wise is good. I still think the Kane is going to be really strong. It's just not going to be good in every situation now. So you just can't use it and make your opponent block it and they get enormous plus frames just because, right? It's more so probably going to be used as a whiff punisher and in combos. So at least that kind of took away one of the powerful aspects of it. Again, I'm not sure if it was quite nerfed enough, but I will take it. So those wrap up the Leroy changes. Now let's ask the question. Are these changes enough? Are these changes enough to make the character not too strong? And will this ensure that there won't be another 6 Leroys in top 8 like there just was at Evo Japan? In my opinion, no, it's not enough. There are certain things that have not been touched that probably should be touched. Back 1+2 again is a pretty big example. Sorry. So this is a 12 frame mid counter hit launcher. That's pretty nuts. It's completely safe on block. It's like, I think it's -5. Let's make sure on that. So yeah, -5, huge pushback. he's not at any kind of disadvantage whatsoever if you block it because of the pushback, and it's only -5. So to me, that's crazy. It does have, of course, it has a really short range, but that's still pretty ridiculous. That move is faster than down forward 1. So imagine if you're down forward 1, like some characters down forward 1s have a really short range. So imagine if some characters down forward 1s counter hit launched. You know, that's basically what this is. So except it's faster. It's 1 frame faster. So this move is pretty crazy. They should have made it either really punishable or just remove the counter hit launch property altogether. It's pretty crazy that that didn't get touched at all. Another move I want to talk about is this down 1+2. I can't believe this didn't get changed. Like, come on. I mean, everyone knows what it does at this point. You know, it has long range. It's really oppressive. It leaves you at 0. You know, it's neutral, but even that is a little bit misleading. You know, it says 0, so technically you think that you and your opponent are left on even grounds, right? Since you're both at 0, you're both at neutral. But no, you're not, because it forces your opponent into crouching, which severely limits their options. It limits which way they can sidestep. It limits the moves they can use in that scenario. You know, so it makes your opponent extremely limited. Even though you're both at 0, technically you're still at an advantage. And it's mid, has really long range, and a counter hit launcher. This move should have been touched. It should definitely be negative, and it should definitely not force your opponent into crouching, at the very least. So this move is still completely busted, I think. Another thing that didn't get changed is his hell sweep. Now, it has really good range. It's basically a homing move, you know, extremely good tracking. So there's not really much counterplay to the move as it is right now. The only counterplay is that you guess correctly and you punish it, but you can't see it, so you have to guess, obviously. So in my opinion, either the range or the tracking should have been nerfed. You know, if this move was at least steppable to one side, then you could have some counterplay. You could insert certain movements into your neutral game to naturally evade the hell sweep if you expect it to come. If the range was reduced, then you could backdash away from it, and you know, you could play the range game to kind of outrange it. That would give you some more counterplay to the move. The fact that it's still homing basically and it has extremely long range, you know, it's pretty busted. So in my opinion, these nerfs are a decent start. I still think Leroy will still probably be, I mean, the best, if not, you know, easily top 3 characters in the game. And I mean, in my opinion, he's still going to be the best character. So he's extremely easy to use. He's extremely rewarding, and he's very low risk still, even with these nerfs. So, you know, we'll have to see. His combo damage did get nerfed, so I guess some of his reward did get taken away. But again, I don't think that that's quite enough. But that'll about wrap it up. So I want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments. Tell me, do you think these nerfs were enough? You know, were they too much? Are there anything else that you wanted to be nerfed? Any other moves? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.